email from people representing NCBI asking me to help out with their campaign regarding their rebranding. NCBI, the National Council for the Blind Ireland, who run charity shops all over the country, as well as providing services for the blind and the visually impaired, are rebranding as Vision Ireland. And the reason they're doing this is to make it more plain that they represent people of all forms of visual impairment, not just people who are blind. And speaking as someone with a severe visual impairment who is not legally counted as blind, that's actually really good. That's very, very good. I have been struggling with the loss of my vision for several years now. In fact, even before I got the email, I was already scripting a video about that, which should be coming out in November, I think, hopefully. But I knew about NCBI. I knew they existed. But literally because of the name, I was worried about approaching them. I never did approach them for assistance or for any kind of help, or even for a sense of community, a sense of solidarity, because I was worried because of the name that it wasn't for me. But anyway, they wanted me to help out with this campaign. They have given me €100 credit for NCBI shops, their charity shops. For Americans, it's a thrift store that donates the money to charity. I'm getting ready to head into Dublin now. I'm going to pick up the credit. I'm going to buy some stuff. I'm probably going to vlog. We'll see if that happens or not. I'm not very good at vlogging, though my friend Momo did give me kind of like some really good advice on how to do that when she was over in Ireland for a little while. So we'll see. Anyway, yeah. Bye. So I went into Dublin to the Vision Ireland shop on Camden Street. You can see their lovely Christmas window display right here. I forgot to get the logo because I'm a gobshite, and I was intensely awkward. I am not good at vlogging. I have not improved at all. In fact, if you look here, you can see where the sleeve of my jumper tore, probably when the backstrap broke on my backpack. But anyway, I quickly realised after chatting with the assistant manager Cherie for a bit that I had an opportunity here. We could talk about what Vision Ireland does. We could talk about what the shop in Camden Street especially does. So I decided, let's do a little impromptu interview. You know, the kind of thing that I'm actually good at and know how to do. I wasn't expecting to do an interview heading in, so I didn't bring my audio recording equipment, so the sound is going to be a little bit rough, but it's all right. It's grand. It'll be fine. Okay. Right, so I'm here with Cherie from Vision Ireland, and we're going to have a bit of a chat about what Vision Ireland does and what this location, the shop here in Camden Street, does as well, in particular. So, yeah. You were mentioning the knit and natter.
Yeah,
earlier.
We have our knit and natter group. They come in every Saturday. They normally come in like around 10:30 to about 1:30, and that's exactly what they do. They really knit. It's like stitch. It's nearly like stitch and bitch.
Yeah.
I think that's a better word for it too. I think I might mention that to them. But yeah, that's exactly what they do. So they do come in. They do their knitting. The few ladies that come in, anyone can join in. Yeah. So you know, if anyone is sitting there, anybody can join in. You know, people just that they don't really know feel like they want a little bit of time for a chat, and a cup of tea, cake, biscuits is always there. They come in, they usually kind of knit wherever, I could say to them, look, I hear of a new baby boy, girl being born, or someone maybe, a child wants a little toy or a teddy bear or something, they'll knit anything. And they've just recently knitted our little Santa Clauses for us for Christmas.
I was looking at those up the front, they're lovely.
And they're lovely, they're so cute.
Just a nice little community thing.
Yeah, it's been going on I think a long time. I can remember coming in here too a long time ago, and it used to be like that. And it was always great. They used to sit around the table and chairs. It just depends what furniture we have in. So whether we have a sofa or a table and chairs or armchairs, whatever they can find, they'll sit down and But it's great. It's lovely. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. So that's been going on even since before you were working here?
Yeah, that's going on a long time. This used to be Age Action years ago, and that was going on there. So I remember because I used to work a couple of doors down, and when I used to come in here and do a bit of shopping in here, I'd see them back then, so they still come in.
Right, so it's more tied to the location even then?
Yeah, yeah, as well, exactly.
That's really interesting. It's nice to see that when another company took the location over, they kept that going.
They did, yeah. So that's because I think the women that are here were part of Age Action, which this was only up for a couple of years ago, and NCBI took it over, and of course now Vision Ireland. But that's so they still come.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And Vision Ireland itself, obviously the name has changed. This is a new name.
Yes, yeah. So I think it's great. I think a lot of people, a lot of people are coming in and wondering, has everything changed? And we're like, no, everything is the same. It just makes it a broader kind of an umbrella for all types of, everything to do with your site. So whether you're partially, or visually impaired, it's all sorts. So it doesn't come under the blind, which was the NCBI, the National Council of the Blind of Ireland. So it doesn't come for that, and I think it's way better.
When I came in earlier, I mentioned, and I've got a video specifically on that already scripting, by the way. I mentioned that when I started losing my vision, I didn't really have any kind of community or anything to reach out to. And I knew about NCBI, the National Council for the Blind, but I actually had that exact problem that you were talking about. I thought that was specifically for people who are blind.
Exactly, and so there you go. Even with you have experienced that, and obviously the name does kind of, if I was kind of walking along that and I said, the National Council for the Blind of Ireland, you do think it's for pure blindness, total blindness.
Yeah, because I know that blind is like a blanket term and an umbrella term that covers a lot of different levels of visual impairment. Unfortunately, though, almost as soon as I got diagnosed, I have severe keratoconus, which is when your cornea distorts into a cone shape.
Okay.
And by the time we caught it in my right eye, it was already too late. There's nothing that can be done about my right eye. It is too warped, too thin to perform any kind of surgery on, not even a cornea transplant.
Wow.
So when I was diagnosed with that, I wasn't pointed towards any kind of community.
Yeah.
And I knew that is it falls under the umbrella of blindness. But when I looked into it, I found out that the government does not include it legally as blindness.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you're not totally blind?
Because I don't have a certain level of vision loss in both eyes.
Wow.
So with that in mind, knowing that legally that didn't count as blind, it made me think, all these organizations that are using the term blind, maybe they're doing the same thing as the government.
Right. And that wasn't the case then.
It wasn't the case. I didn't know that.
No, of course, because again, you think that, but and it was great that you actually you came and that you got help from the NCBI.
What happened was it was just last week I was emailed about the name change.
Wow.
I was like, wow, okay, this is great. And bizarre coincidence, because it's been just over a year since I got surgery on my good eye to stop it getting worse.
That's good.
And yesterday was World Keratoconus Awareness Day.
Really?
Yeah. So all of these things have lined up really nicely, and now that I know Vision Ireland is for everyone and would include me, I have been thinking about looking into what I could get, how it could help me.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
What avenues is there for you? Absolutely, that's amazing, though. So are you kind of really happy about this? We really, even you can see it in your, you can see it now in your face. You're just lighting up there that you have found this, and that's, You know?
Yeah, it's really.
Yeah, are you okay?
Yeah, it's genuinely important to me.
Wow, I'm so glad you came here today. Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad you came here today. You're fine, you're fine.
Okay,
You're fine, it's
yeah,
okay.
I'm glad.
Yeah, that's good. No, but it's
So after that, I got emotional to the point where I was not remotely comprehensible, which, if you know me well, you know is not massively unusual. I'm a very emotional person. However, I did have a good time. I found some really cool stuff. I will never, ever turn away a cloak or a cape of any kind, especially not one that's in earth tones, which are my colours, let's be honest about it. Those in purple. And I had been looking for a sleeveless denim jacket for a while. I'd been meaning to pick one up, and I found one that fit, so that's mine now. This was for sale, and I was really tempted to get it because it would be so handy, but I had no way of getting it home. None at all. I was going to record this bit at the train station, but it was way too loud. So instead I'm doing it here. That day was really, really fun for me. It was really nice. I just went in. My only real plan was to go to Vision Ireland. So I just had a bit of a wander around Dublin. I got some lovely breakfast. I happened to run into a March for Palestine that was going almost the exact route I was. So I joined it. Because also Saoirse done Palestine. But it was just a really lovely day. I haven't had a day of just having a bit of an aimless wander around a city in so many years. And I used to live in Dublin for quite a while, and just wandering around the city was something I loved to do. It was how I would spend like a good chunk of my time just having a wander. And I missed it. I really, really missed it. And I was glad to do it again. And I'm going to make more time to do that more now, because it was just really good for me. I got to drop in on my old co-workers, my friends at the Leprechaun Museum in their new location now that it's finally open. And I got to have a bit of a chat with them, catch up, see how the place has changed, how the new setup is. It's really lovely, by the way. And also I ran into my nemesis over here. This yoke, the Jervis Street Christmas reindeer, that caused me no end of suffering standing outside the old Leprechaun Museum location with its endless nonsense. And yeah, after a nice long day, I got on the train and headed home. And it was lovely. But, of course, I am still me. And it wouldn't be me if I didn't bastardize one of the things I bought. So, as I was saying, I'd been looking for a sleeveless denim jacket for ages, and this one, it fit the bill, but it's not ragged enough. It's nowhere near ragged enough. It needs to be raggedized. So I'm taking off the hems at the very end. Taking off the hems at the very end. I am probably, I think, in fact, I'm probably going to do it after recording this narration, and you're going to watch it as I narrate it. I'm probably going to take my angle grinder with the wire cup to those edges to raggedize them further. And I did some embroidery, which is already done. So I get a lot of compliments on the way I dress, and a lot of people comment on the fact that I tend to mix time periods. I mismatch my time periods in the clothes I wear. And I had a gig there. I was storytelling at A4 Sounds in Dublin for Chronic Art Collective there on Friday night. And a few people were mentioning it, we talked about it, and I called it chronopunk, as in like a time traveller who has stopped caring about passing for the time period they're in, which I think is perfect non-binary fashion, by the way. Kind of inspired by things like Doctor Who, the Time Walker in Stargrave, stuff like that. Captain John Hart in Torchwood, that kind of thing. Weird time traveler sci-fi people. So I decided I wanted to do something like that with this jacket. So I've taken a quote from The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Time is an illusion, lunchtime doubly so. And I'm embroidering that onto the jacket. That took me all week. That's why this video is like a week later, because I was doing that while also preparing for my gig at A4 Sounds. So I was doing a bit of half and half. It was fun. I enjoyed doing that. It was my first time embroidering text. You'll notice the first time is in a completely different stitch to the rest of it, because I was using a very slow stitch and decided, nope, not doing that for the rest of it. But yeah, I quite like how it came out. So that was me being awkward in front of a camera for a little while. You can tell this is not the kind of thing I usually do. This is not my usual kind of content at all. But listen, it's a charity, and it's a charity that's genuinely helpful to people like me. And it's a charity whose services I'm probably going to be making use of soon. And it was a bit of fun as well. It was a lot of fun. So I'd like to thank Vision Ireland for sponsoring kind of this video and for asking me to be involved in this. And I'd like to thank anyone who actually watched this. And go to Vision Ireland. Like, charity shops are great, just in general. I wear 90% charity shop clothes anyway, because I'm poor. Because I'm disabled in Ireland, and that's just the base state of being for a disabled person in Ireland. You're poor. Yeah, that's the video. I'm gonna go get this edited and run it past Vision Ireland, and I have to get ready for an interview tomorrow morning about the Banshee. I'm having a busy couple of weeks, as you can guess.